The secret life
Everything is for this show.
of an Atlanta housewife.
It became a nightmare.
Kelli Ferrell.
It's my money, I can do what I want to.
This is bank fraud.
Her ex-husband accusing her of using business loans for their chicken and waffles restaurant for trips and getting pampered.
5,000 here, 5,000 there.
And why he says men paying child support should pay attention what a judge and a court clerk are accused of doing behind his back that landed him in jail.
Did you threaten to kill Kelli?
When I do talk about him, I always want everybody to know it's the truth.
I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates. This $200 million lawsuit had the internet talking late last year, and it all stemmed from comments that Real Housewives star Kelli Ferrell made on the show, accusing her ex-husband, Chuvalo Mark Ferrell, of threatening to kill her.
Life was great, when I first met Kelli. We never had no problem.
But after 3 kids and 11 years of marriage, it got rocky in 2022. So bad that an argument over a wine bottle landed them both in jail for simple battery. The charges were later dropped, but both knew it was time to call it quits. They did, however, agree to continue operating their restaurant, Nana's Chicken and Waffles.
The recipes, the concept, everything came from me.
The name and logo, however, were named after Kelli's grandmother.
Things were going so well, and then things took a turn. What happened?
I applied for a loan, which was like $420,000.
One of several loans they secured together between 2021 and 2022. $59,000, $60,000, $150,000, $291,000. In total, they borrowed upwards of $700,000 from banks. The goal was to open additional restaurant locations in the Atlanta metro area.
What were you seeing in those business accounts?
Just a bunch of, 5,000 here, 5,000 there, hair, makeup.
It seemed random. $150 spa sessions, a $211 nail appointment, and $5,000 transfers to Kelli's personal checking accounts.
How much money, Mark, did you notice was missing from the business account?
It was well over $30,000.
This was also around the time Kelli was planning a trip to Mexico.
She was actually spending the money around her birthday. So, just spending out of control. My business manager said, man, just pull the money.
And that's exactly what he did. Mark's attorney, Latoya Francis Williams, says that he transferred about $420,000 out of a shared business account into his personal business account.
Mr. Ferrell really wanted Kelli to be able to still participate, but she had to get the spending habits under control because they all knew that the money was earmarked for the building, and it was only for the building. Their business advisor suggested that Mr. Ferrell safe harbor the money, which he did. And at the same time, he, Kelli, and Mr. Ferrell would start working on an operating agreement.
In that agreement, both Kelli and Mark would have 50-50 ownership of Nana's Chicken and Waffles, with rules though. Both of them shall not, quote, borrow money on behalf of the company, lend any company funds or other assets to any person, or change the nature or character of the business of the company without a unanimous vote.
One of the major restrictions was that Kelli could not withdraw money without a second signature, which was Mr. Ferrell's. But she agreed to it. We have the text messages where she acknowledges not only the terms, but being able to talk in robust conversations. But unbeknownst to Mr. Ferrell, Kelli had secretly hired an attorney to go to court.
Here's what Kelli said on the Outlaws with T.S. Madison podcast about 2 weeks ago.
I think we talked about on the second episode about him taking almost $500,000 from out the company's bank account when I was on a trip to Mexico. That money was supposed to be used for some other locations. And it became a nightmare.
But what Mark told me Kelli failed to mention is that he had been gradually redepositing that $420,000 back into their shared business account. He says he only took it out to stop Kelli from misappropriating funds.
We had to go to court, unfortunately, and those were the turning points.
And that is when things got messy. But before we go any further, roommates, if you love yourself some TSR Investigates, make sure you go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the Shade Room's YouTube channel for new weekly episodes of this show and more.
She took the opportunity to really try to steal his company from him. So she and her lawyer went to court and requested an emergency petition be ruled on. And she made representations that she had no idea what was going on with the business. That was a lie. That she had no access to the business funds. Again, that was a lie. She had no input, no ability to maneuver with the business funds. Again, that was a lie. And the court, considering how the law works, ruled in one day. No one gave Mr. Ferrell any notice. He was not served process. So the court ruled and granted a temporary injunction.
This is all happening in Conyers, Georgia. It's in Rockdale County, where the two shared a home together and also where the original Nana's Chicken and Waffles was located. Mark's attorneys say it's the same restaurant location the Rockdale County Clerk of Court frequented quite a bit and posted about it on social media, sharing promotional photos about how amazing Nana's Chicken and Waffles is, even saying, "Love you," in one post to Kelli.
It's not okay.
Here's what it says in the Rockdale County Code of Conduct Handbook. Quote, "Employees shall avoid any situation which involves or may involve a conflict between their personal interest and the interest of the county. Employees shall disclose potential conflicts of interest to their immediate supervisor when dealing in the course of official duties with relatives, spouse, or close friends." End quote. Attorney Francis Williams says that the court clerk was involved in drafting this summons for Mark to appear in court over the funds that he moved out of their joint account. A clear conflict of interest, she claims. And if you look closer, you can see the summons, it was never served to him. It was served to a woman named Susan Bertrand, who Mark says was his children's nanny.
The court took Kelli at her word and didn't demand that she present any information about ownership, about rights and responsibilities, about the money, about the accounts. And the court entered an order enjoining Mr. Ferrell from his own business and essentially took everything from him, took his name off the accounts, took the money from him out of his pocket, took his ability to be able to make money. Unbeknownst to him, he went to the bank one day to continue with the building fund, and he didn't have access to his bank accounts. So he was trying to figure out what was going on. And as swiftly as that happened, the court held a hearing on the final injunction. And again, because Mr. Ferrell was not served any documents, he had no idea that he had to be in court.
When this all got to Rockdale County Superior Court Judge Nancy Bills, her mind seemed to be made up. He was accused of making an unauthorized withdrawal of that $420,000 and was ordered to pay it back, saying that it was, quote, done for fraudulent and unlawful reasons to deprive, exclude, steal, and deny Kelli the right to use and enjoy their financial assets. Judge Bills also demanded he return Kelli's 2020 black G-Wagon and pay an additional $150,000 because all of this, quote, seriously damaged and hampered in the orderly and proper management of their financial assets.
The judge allowed Kelli to essentially spin her web and tell her lies. And she sat in it and she thought she was going to go ahead and benefit from it.
Something Kelli denies.
I left him and he told me I could take nothing in the house. Nothing. He didn't help me financially. He wasn't paying child support. He wasn't helping.
Now, coming up later, did Mark pay child support? It was a key storyline on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Mark failing to support or show up for his children. Is that really what happened? Stay tuned.
They crazy about their dad, so it's very very hurtful.
Things really got ugly in January 2024 when Mark says he was attending a child support hearing where Judge Nancy Bills was once again the presiding judge.
The judge said, and by the way, did you pay this $420,000 back? He was surprised. Number one, he said, absolutely, of course I did. And I have documentation of it. Judge said to him, well, if you had documentation, you would have brought it with you. Now, clearly, the matter had nothing to do with the $420,000. But the frustrating part is, Kelli was in court. And the money was actually paid directly to Kelli. The judge says, no, I'm not going to give you postponement. I'm not going to take a recess. I'm not going to let you get the bank statements, nothing. You're detained, and arrested him until he posted a bond for $420,000. He ended up having to borrow money to hire yet another attorney to get the same documents that he was raising with the court, the same documents that Kelli already had.
He was thrown in jail.
The judge denied me counsel and they locked me up. I stayed in jail for 41 days.
Kelli then filed a temporary order of protection against him. Quote, "My husband was handcuffed and taken into custody. On his way leaving out, he threatened me and just stated that he would get me."
It was also said on the show that you threatened to kill Kelli, which is a very serious allegation. Did you threaten to kill Kelli?
Absolutely not. Just once again, it's for the storyline. I said, I got you. I'm talking to her and her family, right? I'm like, I'm leaving out of court. I got you. This is messed up. When I got to the back, they came and served me the TPO, and she changed it and said, I'm gonna get you. Basically, like I said, I'm a killer. Now I had witnesses up in there, my family, and the bailiff that locked me up. No one heard me say it out my mouth, but she goes on national TV and destroys my character and said I said I was gonna kill her.
Something Bravo and its production company, Truly Original, will soon have to address in federal court. The company's named in a $200 million lawsuit, alleging that false narratives aired on the show damaged Mark's reputation and business interests. Quote, "The false and defamatory claims cause actual deception among Bravo's audience, resulting in widespread reputational harm to Mark and direct commercial injury as investors terminated ongoing relationships, business opportunities and partnerships were lost, and customers and affiliates withdrew support for his restaurant and brand."
The reality is they're pushing this storyline for ratings. It is tearing down Mr. Ferrell. It is tearing those children down. It is tearing their family down.
Now, Truly Original, the production company that produces The Real Housewives of Atlanta, responding to a cease and desist that Mark Ferrell's legal team sent, on the defense, quote, "The series is a First Amendment protected expressive work based on real events. It depicts the cast members' real lives, relationships, and events as they occur during filming. The statements cited in your letter are an actionable opinion and or corroborated by multiple sources, including judicial findings."
Bravo knows, the producers know, that that is a false tale. It is defamation, it is slander, and of course, when they put it in print, it is libel.
Now, Rockdale County officials, including the Superior Court clerk, were also named in a separate lawsuit claiming that the clerk used her position as clerk to promote Kelli in the detriment of Mark Ferrell. It also claims that her decisions impacted the outcome of court proceedings and financial transactions. Now, we did reach out to Rockdale County on this matter. We have not yet heard back, but we did learn that the judge recused herself from any family law cases involving Mark Ferrell, as he has been in and out of jail over lack of child support, something he says he does admit he fell behind, but has never missed a visit with his children. In fact, he says that he spent the holidays in jail and was recently released after paying Kelli Ferrell close to $62,000 in owed child support. Now, we did offer Bravo a chance to respond, and a representative referred me to speak with Kelli Ferrell's team about this and did not offer additional comment. For 4 months, I have been in communication with Kelli Ferrell and her team about this lawsuit. They have expressed interest in sharing their side of the story, even going as far as scheduling an interview, but nothing has materialized. When they are ready, of course, we'll be ready. We'll keep an eye out. For TSR Investigates, I'm Justin Carter. Hello, roommates, and thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Do you want more TSR Investigates? Be sure to subscribe and check us out at theshaderoom.com.